can see all kinds of immigrants in New York City. But the Filipinos, we're the invisible minority.
There's nothing that says what a Filipino is, or what a Filipino looks like, or what a Filipino is supposed to do, or if you see this guy, that's a Filipino. There's nothing there to say Filipinos are here.
Hey, baby!
Being Filipino was not around in my household. There was no pictures of the Philippines, there was no Filipino ornaments, no Filipino music being played. I think my mother did this because she had to adapt. She had to be like a chameleon and adapt to the situation around her. And to be a Filipino was to be a minority, and to be a minority was to be lower than what you were trying to equal out onto. As you grow up and you're being Filipino back here in New York, you're kind of ashamed to admit what you are because you belong to no group. You live like that because you want to have an identity, but there's nobody to identify with. And so you hide it away, just to try to fit in or to try to blend. My father came here when he was 15. He was a cook on a boat, a merchant marine boat, and came over and tried to make it in America. You know, there was no money in the Philippines. There was no jobs in the Philippines, and he was a young man that wanted to go and be out. Back in the time when he got here to America, my grandfather, he had a lot of adversity. They called him a lot of names. He was lower than what you'd call slaves, because he was treated literally like the livestock.
And with me now, it's my pleasure to introduce one of the folks we saw that we just met, actually, in Kababayan. He's Jason Bakilod. He's the host and executive producer of Pinoy Radio, the only Pinoy rock radio show in New York. Jason, very glad to meet you in person.
Nice to meet you.
With hair's a little shorter.
Hair's a lot shorter, actually.
You're looking good. You look good there. You look good here.
Thank you.
Listen, did you ever think, you're a third-generation Filipino?
That's right.
Did you ever think you'd be sitting here at the station that brings you Sesame Street, that brought you Sesame Street when you were a little kid, talking about a program about the Filipino people, wonderful program, I think, about the Filipino people, where you are a principal player?
To be quite honest with you, like you say, I did grow up here, and I have never seen anything like this that Channel 13 is actually broadcasting, and I feel so proud to be part of it, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank WNET for this opportunity for our people.
Well, thank you. Well, listen, so I guess you're liking the program. Tell me what you think of it.
I think the program is a great introduction to the New York community and the tri-state area, to what and who Filipinos are, what we're about, what we can do, and it's a small introduction, but you know, with funding,
you can make
if
more.
you call 1-800-272-1313, we can see more programming
because
like this.
That's a very good point, which we haven't made yet, which is not only if they support this program, we can get you know, the programs but very many programs, and not only that, we get to convince other venues.
That's right.
Other stations, hey, you know, people really like programs about
They have to get used to Filipinos, number one.
Right.
They have to understand who Filipinos are, and this is our introduction, and it's a great introduction, and Channel 13 made that possible.
Now, you know, it's surprising to me. I mean, this question of visibility, I got to say, you know, I've seen a lot of these programs that we produced here. Great. Yeah. This one, I think, was the most surprising to me. Because as I told Diane, I grew up with a lot of Filipinos around me, Filipino doctors, Filipino nurses, and I live in Woodside. And it never occurred to me to think about the Filipino people as invisible. Yeah. But obviously, if you think about it more than once, you know, you don't see much about the Filipino. How has that, what has been the feeling of it?
There's a lot of despair because of that. Number one, when you're growing up and you're reading the papers and you're seeing television and you don't see anybody that looks like you or talks like you or like your family, you're left alone, you know. And so something like this show helps future generations to acclimate into America.
All right, in just about a few seconds that we have left, could you direct your comments directly at the people who are watching right now, enjoying this program, but not yet contributing?
Okay, hoy pare, 1-800-272-1313, no Filipino time. Do it. Call now.
Okay, thank you. You'll be back, Jason.
Thank you.
Okay, stay where you are, stay where you are. Now,
I think the first time I really realized that being Filipino was really good inside. It felt good. It was enriching. It enriched my life. It enhanced my life. Was when I was in a room filled with Filipinos. Everybody kind of looks like a relative to me. Everybody looks like a cousin or something. Everyone looks like, you know, we should know them. They should know us. We should be hanging together. It was like my world had just gotten really big. I had found a place in this world. I had found like a home.